In the years since Super Mario 64 was first released, there's been a lot of debate on the internet as to exactly what this following line is. But what does he actually say? Well, I have the answer right here in this video, and I can tell you right now that the commonly memed interpretation, "So long, gay Bowser," is really not too far off from what he actually says. You'll see exactly why in this video, so stay tuned. What can be said about Super Mario 64? It was one of the most influential games to come out during the early 3D gaming era. Released as a launch title for the Nintendo 64, Super Mario 64 made a lasting impact that would become influential with games that came out afterwards. Not only did the game have an expansive 3D environment, but it also brought about 3D camera controls and exploration elements that would become something that other 3D games afterwards would take cues from. But aside from that, there was one other thing about this game that also had some influence, for much, much different reasons. And that was the very famous moment that stands out from the rest of the game, where Mario is fighting Bowser. He's swinging the tail around, and after Mario lets go, we get this line. This has sparked up a lot of debate amongst the gaming community, who has played the game since childhood, as there was a lot of confusion towards exactly what Mario says. He says it kind of fast, and because of this, the words sort of mesh together, and the audio compression didn't really help all that much with making it any less confusing. Although, even when the uncompressed version of the audio was leaked much later on, it still didn't exactly clear the air and answer the question. Although it may have possibly had a hand in my personal breakdown of it. The most famous interpretation of that line, which has been used throughout various internet memes, is "So long, gay Bowser." But obviously, that's not what Mario is actually supposed to say. There's been a lot of speculation as to what exactly the phrase was. Some have said that maybe he said, "So long, King Bowser." That, I will say, actually sounds plausible. But no, that's not what he actually says. Later in 2019, Charles Martinet, the voice of Mario, actually responded to a tweet asking what it is that Mario says. And his response, "So long, Kinga Bowser." Ironically, that has to be the least accurate of all the interpretations I have ever heard, as even when I listened back to it, with that in mind, both compressed and uncompressed, I still wasn't convinced. There was nothing about it that strikes to me that says, "So long, Kinga Bowser." Not to a point where I think, yep, that sounds right to me. Now, I can tell you this right now. After listening to the line closely and really breaking it down, it's not "So long, Kinga Bowser." So, then, what is the line? What exactly is it that Mario says? Well, I listened to the line again, trying to piece together in a very slow and concise manner. I did so based on how I remember hearing the line as a kid, the internet interpretation, and examining the words. Took me a little bit, but now I think I figured it out, and you'll be surprised to know that it really does sound very close to how you may have heard it before. Are you ready for this? Alright, here it is. The line Mario actually says to Bowser is, "So long, a Bowser." Now, before you look at this line and think, wait a minute, that still doesn't sound right, let me break it down even further. And we'll start with the beginning part of the phrase, the "so long" part. The thing you gotta take note on is exactly how Mario says it, or particularly how Charles Martinet was portraying Mario in that moment. And this is noted in the fact that Mario speaks in a very exaggerated, rather stereotypical Italian accent. And putting on such an accent also means exaggerating certain words, as you're essentially speaking in the perspective of somebody who isn't actually a native English speaker, which we could assume is what Charles Martinet had in mind when portraying Mario in Super Mario 64. Some of the exaggerated uses of words when putting on such an accent would mean saying certain words where silent letters may not come out as silent. For instance, one may say comb as comb, or knife as knife. Or, in the instance of Mario saying that line when fighting Bowser, you know, so long. Right when Mario says long, the G is not silent, so he's actually saying long. So long. Combine that with Mario's trademarked way of adding A in his vocabulary again, also part of his Italian accent, and you get so longa. See where I'm going with this? Look at how the G and the A sort of mesh together. Now try putting it all together, with the non-silent G and long, and while you're at it, even try saying it in an Italian accent. As a matter of fact, I'll start right now. So longa, Bowser. 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 So now, you try it. You try doing that exercise that I just laid out. As you keep saying it in that way, then I'm sure the gay Bowser sound will come out. I even found that the more I kept saying it, the more I'm convinced that, yeah, this is exactly the line Mario says to Bowser. And, well, there you have it. If you're somebody who wants to believe that the line really is gay Bowser, well then, you can rest assured that even when you listen to that line with the context that I just provided, it sounds really close together. So with that, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that this is the correct interpretation as to what Mario actually says? Or do you think I'm completely wrong? Do you think that it's something else? Or do you just not care and you'd rather think it's just so long gay Bowser in your mind? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and subscribe to DSL Media for more videos and content. Thank you all for watching, and so long!